When help from God is near, these things will occur. 8 keynotes. Unexplainable peace will fill your soul. 2. Closed doors will begin to open. Pull away from distraction. Your discernment will sharpen. People assigned by God will start appearing. 6. What once drained you will no longer affect you, though you'll experience divine delays that lead to greater purpose. 8. A deep hunger for God will awaken within you. Introduction. There comes a moment in life when your strength runs dry, when your prayers feel unanswered, and when silence becomes your closest companion. You begin to wonder, is God listening? Does he see me? Is he still working behind the scenes? But just when the weight feels unbearable, just when the night seems the darkest, there comes a shift, not in the circumstance, but in your spirit, a stillness, a sign, a divine whisper that something is changing, that help from heaven is closer than you realize. You see, God never shows up late. He may not move according to your clock, but he always arrives right on time. And before that divine breakthrough unfolds, there are signs, subtle, spiritual signals that mark the nearness of his intervention. These aren't coincidences, they're coordinates pointing toward your miracle. But to recognize them, you have to be awake in your spirit and aligned in your heart. This message isn't just another inspirational speech. It's a prophetic insight into how heaven operates when God is about to move on your behalf. It will show you what to look for, what to expect, and how to prepare. Because many people miss their help, not because it didn't come, but because they couldn't recognize the signs. This is a spiritual wake-up call to make sure you don't miss yours. So if you're in a season of waiting, if you feel like you're hanging between hope and despair, then lean in. Don't just hear these words, receive them. Because when help from God is near, certain things always begin to unfold. And once you see them, you'll never doubt again that God is closer than you think. Unexplainable peace will fill your soul. When help from God is near, the very first sign is not external, it's internal. It's not the money that hits your bank account, not the opportunity that comes knocking, not the healing that manifests. It's peace, a kind of peace that cannot be manufactured, duplicated, or logically explained. A supernatural calm that fills your spirit even when chaos is all around you. You might still be in the middle of the storm, but somehow your soul is quiet. The bills are still unpaid, but you're not anxious. The door is still closed, but you're not restless. The healing hasn't arrived, but you're not afraid. This isn't ignorance or denial. It's a divine knowing, an assurance in your spirit that God has stepped into your situation. This kind of peace is holy. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't take away the problem, but it repositions your heart. And when God is about to help you, he doesn't always change the situation first. He changes you. He silences the inner storm so that your faith can rise above the outer one. You begin to walk through the fire and not be burned because peace is the flame retardant presence of the Holy Spirit. Peace like this comes from trusting God's character, not just his timing. It's born in the secret place where you stop wrestling with outcomes and start surrendering to God's sovereignty. When help is near, something shifts in your prayers. You stop begging and start believing. You stop worrying and start worshiping. Your posture changes. Your focus sharpens. Your breath deepens. That's the first whisper from heaven. I'm near. And when that peace comes, don't overlook it. Don't dismiss it as just a good day or a moment of relief. That's not random. That's a marker. That's the down payment of your deliverance. Because before God changes your circumstances, he anchors your soul. The enemy wants you to believe that help looks like a rescue, but God's help often starts with restoration of your mind, your heart, your courage. It's no wonder the Bible calls peace a guard for your heart and mind, Philippians 4:7, because when peace walks in, fear walks out. When peace takes over, clarity replaces confusion. And when peace stands guard, no lie from the enemy can penetrate your spirit. You may not know the how, but you'll know the who, and that's more than enough. Don't ignore the stillness. Don't brush off that sudden calm you feel while worshiping or praying or even doing nothing at all. That's your sign. That's the whisper before the miracle. That's heaven letting you know that the help is not on its way. It's already here. The peace of God isn't the appetizer. It's the entrance of the King. When he brings peace, he brings himself. And here's what's most beautiful. You don't have to feel peaceful to choose peace. Sometimes peace starts as a decision, not an emotion. When you declare, God, I trust you, even when nothing makes sense, you create space for peace to settle. That's faith. And faith is the welcome mat for divine help. Peace is the evidence that your spirit has recognized what your eyes cannot yet see, that God is near. So don't let the lack of movement discourage you. If you sense peace in your soul, rejoice. If you've stopped panicking and started praising, praise louder, because that peace is heaven's first signpost. You are not abandoned. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You're simply being prepared. Help is near. And the peace you feel, that's the proof. When help from God is near, it often begins with a shift that takes place deep within. Before you see the breakthrough with your eyes, your spirit senses it first. The first and most telling sign is an unexplainable peace, a divine calm that settles over you, not because your situation has changed, but because you have changed. This peace is not shallow. It's not circumstantial. It's not the kind of relief that comes from a vacation, a good nap, or a temporary fix. It is the kind of peace that settles in even when the bills are still due, when the doctor hasn't called back, and when the job offer still hasn't arrived. Why? Because peace from God is rooted in His presence, not your performance. It's evidence that His hand is moving, even if your eyes haven't seen it yet. When God draws near, peace becomes your portion. You no longer panic at what's around you, because you know who is with you. The noise of the world begins to fade. You find yourself resting more, worrying less, and somehow confident in the silence. You might still have questions, but the desperation behind them fades. This peace guards your heart like a fortress. It blocks out the lies of the enemy and protects your mind from fear. It is your early signal, your heavenly notification that help has arrived and you are no longer fighting alone. 2. Closed doors will begin to open. Another clear sign that divine help is near is that doors you couldn't open on your own suddenly begin to swing wide. For months or years, you may have knocked, begged, and tried to force your way through certain opportunities, yet every attempt was met with silence or resistance. Then suddenly, what was once out of reach becomes available. What was sealed shut begins to move with ease. This isn't luck or coincidence. It's the movement of God's hand. When He is ready to help you, He doesn't just encourage you. He creates access. He turns hearts, changes rules, rewrites timelines, and makes a way where there was none. The door doesn't open because you tried harder. It opens because God said it's time. These open doors often come with confirmation, an undeniable sense that this is from Him. You don't have to manipulate your way in. You don't have to compromise your values. When God opens a door, He also gives you peace to walk through it. And no man, no system, no demon can shut a door God has declared open. So if you suddenly start seeing opportunities you never qualified for, conversations you never expected, or favor you didn't earn, know that God is clearing the path. The door that opens with ease is often the one He has ordained for your elevation. You'll be pulled away from distractions. One of the most loving, yet often uncomfortable signs that God's help is near is that you'll start to lose taste for things that once entertained or entangled you. You'll begin to feel a holy dissatisfaction with shallow conversations, pointless arguments, and toxic environments. It's not burnout, it's alignment. God is pulling you back so He can propel you forward. The distractions might not even be sinful. They could be good things, just not God things. Social media, unnecessary noise, or even certain friendships may suddenly feel like static in your soul. That's because when God is preparing to help you, He needs your attention. He won't compete with your idols, even subtle ones. Sometimes, this pulling away feels lonely. You may even question what's wrong with you. But this isn't isolation, it's consecration. God is sanctifying your focus. He is removing the fog, silencing the noise, and pruning your environment so you can hear Him clearly and move swiftly. Don't resist the urge to unplug, to retreat, to rest. That divine pulling is proof that He is near. The distractions are being cleared because a divine instruction is coming, and you need to be ready to receive it. 4. Your discernment will sharpen. When divine help is close, your spiritual sensitivity increases. You begin to see things you once overlooked. You start discerning motives, sensing hidden warfare, and understanding divine patterns. This isn't paranoia. It's prophetic insight. God sharpens your discernment so you can cooperate with what he's doing and avoid what the enemy is plotting. You'll notice you no longer fall for the same traps. You won't be as easily deceived by false promises or empty words. People's true colors will be revealed, not so you can judge them, but so you can walk wisely. That relationship that once confused you suddenly makes sense. That opportunity that looked perfect now feels off. That invitation that excited you last week now feels wrong in your spirit. This clarity isn't accidental, it's protection. God is showing you what's real and what's not so you can avoid setbacks and delays. When you're close to breakthrough, you need discernment to avoid distractions dressed as blessings. You don't need more options. You need sharper vision. So when your spirit starts catching things your mind can't explain, don't ignore it. Lean into it. Discernment is the whisper of heaven saying, watch this, there's more going on than you see. People assigned by God will start appearing. God often sends his help through people, divinely assigned vessels carrying wisdom, encouragement, resources, or revelation. When your help is near, you'll notice certain people showing up in your life at just the right time. They won't just be good to you, they'll be good for you. These are divine connections, not just casual acquaintances. Some will offer your perspective that heals. Others will unlock doors you couldn't open. Some will carry answers to prayers you prayed in private. These individuals are not replacements for God, but instruments in his hand. Their timing is precise, their words divinely orchestrated, and their presence purposeful. Be discerning, though. Not everyone who appears in your life is sent by God, but the ones who are will bring confirmation, not confusion. They'll align with your spirit, not flatter your ego. And they'll draw you closer to your purpose, not distract you from it. When these people show up, honor them, learn from them, walk with them. They are part of your divine help, and they're proof that heaven has already started moving on your behalf. 6. What once drained you will no longer affect you. When God begins to move, one of the internal signs is a new strength in old places. The situations that used to steal your joy, drain your energy, or paralyze your emotions will suddenly lose their grip. You'll still face the same circumstances, but your reaction will be different. This shift isn't apathy, it's authority. God strengthens you so you can rise above the thing that used to cripple you. That coworker's words no longer pierce. That delay no longer devastates. That fear no longer binds you. You've grown stronger not because the problem went away, but because God fortified your spirit. This is important because sometimes God doesn't change the environment, he changes you. He gives you dominion in the very place that used to dominate you. And that's not just survival, that's transformation. It's evidence that help is near, and God is preparing you to rule, not retreat. So when you notice yourself responding with peace instead of panic, or faith instead of fear, celebrate that. It's not small. It's a sign that your help is not only near, it's already begun. You'll experience divine delays that lead to greater purpose. When help from God is near, you might expect acceleration. But sometimes, what comes instead is a delay, a holy pause. Plans stall, timelines shift, doors remain closed just a little longer. And you wonder, why now, Lord? But this is not a denial, it's a divine delay, and it has purpose. God's timing is not just about the destination, it's about preparation. Sometimes he delays what you want to give you time to become who you need to be. He's not punishing you, he's preserving you. What looks like a setback is often a setup for something greater than you expected. In these delays, God aligns resources, people, timing, and environments. He clears the stage so that when he brings you into your promise, it's sustainable, not temporary. If he gave it too soon, it might crush you. But in the delay, he matures you so you can carry the blessing well. So if you feel stuck in a season of waiting, don't despair. Don't rush. Trust that this delay is divine. Your help is not being withheld. It's being prepared for the perfect moment. 8. A deep hunger for God will awaken within you. Perhaps the most powerful sign that God's help is near is a sudden and deep hunger for his presence. You'll find yourself craving his word, longing for worship, and desiring solitude not for rest, but for intimacy with him. Your spirit begins to thirst for the one who is the true source of help, not just the solution. This hunger cannot be faked. It interrupts your routine. You lose interest in empty pleasures. You want more than sermons. You want encounters. You begin to pray, not just out of discipline, but out of desperation. You're not just asking for help. You're asking for Him. This is no coincidence. God is drawing you to Himself because He is the help, and He doesn't want to simply fix your problems. He wants to fill your soul. When your hunger increases, it's a sign that heaven is close. Your spirit is responding to the proximity of the King. Don't ignore this hunger. Feed it, protect it, let it lead you into deeper levels of surrender. Because the more you draw near to Him, the more His help manifests in ways you never imagined. Conclusion and thank you note. When help from God is near, the atmosphere around your life begins to shift. You don't always see the change immediately in your circumstances, but you sense it in your spirit. Your prayers feel different. Your mind becomes clearer. Your heart finds rest. And even if nothing has changed on the outside, everything starts changing on the inside. That is how God works. He prepares your heart before He delivers your breakthrough. He aligns your soul before He shifts your surroundings. The signs are not loud, they are quiet, but they are unmistakable for those who are watching and listening. If you felt any of these signs in your life, take heart. Don't give up now. The King is closer than you think. Your peace, your hunger, your divine connections, your unexpected delays, these are all indicators that God is not distant but near. And when He moves, it will be perfect. Not rushed, not late, perfect. So stand firm, stay sensitive, and keep believing. Because when God helps you, He does more than rescue you, He establishes you. Thank you for listening. I pray this word speaks deeply to your spirit and equips you to recognize the signs that God is already at work in your life. Stay encouraged, stay aligned, and stay ready, because help is not on the way. Help is already here.